So you want to circle back to someone in your network you've already spoken with at least once before and ask for their help. Again. Feels a little awkward, doesn't it? Maybe you need their advice on a job search, or maybe you're interested in getting an introduction to someone they know. But to start the conversation off by asking for that, it feels a little cold, maybe a little transactional, but it doesn't need to be that way. I'll show you a way that you can reach out to people you've already been networking with a second or even a third time and feel better about it. And it will make the people you're reaching out to feel better about it too. I'm Doug Lester, a career strategist and executive coach, and at one point in my career, I worked at a top 20 executive search firm. My job, it was all about networking, and I often had to contact people in my network multiple times. It was part of the job and it could feel a little transactional, until I learned how to take better notes. That's right, notes. I'm going to show you how a few small notes can make your networking a lot less transactional and a lot less awkward. Have you ever noticed that in most conversations, even business-oriented ones, people tend to drop small details about their personal lives, their families, and their interests? Since you're thinking about it as a business conversation, you probably let those little bits of personal information pass you by, in one ear, out the other. If you do that, you're missing a big opportunity to make your networking less awkward and less transactional. When I was working as an executive recruiter and networking every day, I learned the value of taking good notes to help my clients find outstanding candidates for their leadership roles, but also to capture and recall personal details casually shared by the people I was reaching out to. Now, the notes I took that helped me find candidates for my clients had obvious and immediate value, but there typically wasn't a lot of current value in capturing the personal details shared by the people I was networking with. But there was enormous value the next time I would reach out to them. I'll tell you a true story. Once I was trying to get in touch with someone in my network. It took her a while to respond to my calls and emails, and when she did finally get in touch, she said, "Doug, I'm really sorry it took me so long to get back to you. I was dropping my daughter off for her freshman year at college, and things, well, they got a little crazy." I told her not to worry about it. Sending kids off to college is a busy, stressful time, and that I was just grateful to have the chance to speak with her. That part of the conversation lasted for a few seconds at most, and then we turned our attention to the main reason for my original call, which was to get her thoughts and advice for a search that I was working on. So did you notice something? Without giving it too much thought, my contact shared a specific detail about her personal life. She shared that her daughter was starting her freshman year at college. I took a note. Many months later, I needed to reach out to this contact again, so I sent her an email and we arranged for a time to talk. Now, the start of that follow-up conversation could have been a little awkward and cold. You know, "Hi, thanks so much for taking time for me. I need to get your advice. Again." You know how it goes. That doesn't feel so good for you or for the person that you're reaching out to. But since I took a note about the personal detail that she had shared several months earlier, I was able to start that conversation off a little differently. "Hey, thanks so much for taking time for me. But before I ask for your advice, I wanted to find out, how is your daughter's freshman year at college going?" The tone of the conversation suddenly shifted for the better, from cold and businesslike to warm and friendly, from transactional to relationship building. My contact was genuinely surprised that I had remembered that detail about her family, and I think she was surprised that I had listened so carefully to what she had said. By recalling what she had told me months ago, as an aside, I showed that I was interested in her as a person and not just as a source of information to check off my list. Now, sure, I needed to do my job, and I had a lot of networking calls to make, but it didn't prevent me from incorporating a little humanity into my work. People like to feel heard, and it's easy to show them that they have been. Listening for a personal detail, taking a quick note, and then recalling that information later made my networking contact feel heard and valued as a person. So if you want to take your own networking from transactional to relationship building, from awkward to warm and friendly, then listen carefully for personal details and put them in your notes. So, where do I keep my notes? Definitely not in post-its scattered around my office or in some paper or digital notebook never to be seen again. I use an app called Cove. It's a personal CRM that works on your computer and your mobile devices. It's available on iOS and Android, and it syncs seamlessly with your contacts. I've been using Cove for a few years now, and it's been the place that I capture the bits of personal information that help me make networking a friendlier, more human activity. When I've reached out to a networking contact or anyone else in my life for that matter, and they share an important personal detail that I think I should remember, Cove is the place I put it. And that place is front and center in the app the next time we're in touch. So I'm sure to remember it. Let me show you. On the main screen for each contact in Cove, there are two fields that you can use to capture these important bits of personal information: the general note field and the family info field. Obviously, I'd enter the note about my networking contact's daughter going to college in the family info field. If my contact had told me about something else I might want to remember, like her favorite kind of cookies, I'd probably put that in the general note field. That way, if I ever wanted to get her a gift to thank her for doing something especially helpful, like talking to me half a dozen times, I'd know what kind of cookies to send her, and I think she'd be impressed that I remembered. I think you get the picture. You never know what bits of personal information someone might share with you. Don't let those personal bits of information go in one ear and out the other. Capture them in Cove, and then you can remember them when it really matters. If you're interested in trying Cove, there are links in the description for this video. You can try Cove for free, and if you like it and you want to subscribe, you can get a 15% discount by using my link. It's in the description, and it will help support me and the content I create about networking more effectively and advancing your career.